A single sneaker. That's all they had. No body, no crime scene, just one solitary shoe washed ashore in the Pacific Northwest. But what if I told you that this unassuming shoe held within it the secrets of a brutal crime and the identity of a killer who thought he'd buried the truth forever? This is not just a story about forensics. It's about persistence, science, and how even the smallest trace of evidence can echo the screams of justice. Welcome to Crime Lab Chronicles, where we unravel the most mind-bending mysteries solved by science. Today's case, soul searching. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you love true crime as much as we do. Your support helps bring these incredible stories to life. The shoe that started it all. It all began on the shores of Puget Sound in Tacoma, Washington. In the early morning haze, a beachgoer stumbled upon something odd, a size 10 athletic sneaker. At first glance, it looked ordinary, but upon closer inspection, something far more disturbing was revealed. Inside the shoe was a human foot, still in the sock. No other body parts, no ID, no nearby evidence. Just the sneaker and the severed foot. Authorities were stunned. How could a single foot in a sneaker end up on a beach miles from anywhere? Investigators sent the shoe and the foot to forensic experts. The brand was identified as Nike, and it turned out to be a rare model manufactured only in a specific year. That gave the police something to work with, but it wasn't enough to identify the victim. They needed a match. A family's worst fears. Around the same time, a young man named Patrick McCarthy had been reported missing. Pat was a 24-year-old with a kind heart and a close-knit family. He was reliable, hardworking, and not the type to vanish without a word. The last anyone had heard from Pat was a phone call to his mother. He said he'd be heading home soon. He never arrived. His car was found abandoned. His phone was off. Days turned into weeks with no sign of him. When his family saw the news about the severed foot in the Nike sneaker, something clicked. They remembered Pat wearing shoes just like those. Could the foot belong to him? DNA testing confirmed their fears. The foot was indeed Pat McCarthy's. But that raised even more questions. Where was the rest of his body? What happened to him? And more importantly, who wanted him dead? Following the footsteps, detectives began retracing Pat's last known movements. He had recently been staying with a friend, Jason Hart, who had a criminal record and a reputation for violence. When questioned, Jason gave a bizarre and inconsistent account. He claimed Pat had left one night without warning and hadn't returned. But others contradicted that story. Neighbors recalled hearing loud arguments coming from Jason's home on the night Pat disappeared. Some even reported the sounds of heavy banging, like furniture being moved or something worse. Still, with no body, no murder weapon, and no eyewitnesses, police couldn't make an arrest. So they turned to the one piece of evidence they did have, the shoe. The science of the shoe. Forensic scientists examined the Nike sneaker in astonishing detail. First, they confirmed the manufacturing date and model. Then, they examined the wear patterns on the sole. These patterns, like fingerprints, are unique to each individual. Pat's family provided old photos showing him wearing the exact same shoes, helping to reinforce the identification. But the key forensic breakthrough came from something unexpected: oceanography. Scientists used tidal analysis and ocean current modeling to determine where the foot might have entered the water. Based on the currents and the condition of the foot, they concluded that it had been in the water for days, but not weeks. This narrowed the time of death and aligned almost perfectly with the day Pat went missing. Additionally, forensic pathologists studied the severance of the foot. The way it detached from the leg indicated it had separated naturally due to decomposition, meaning it was not deliberately dismembered. This suggested the body had been submerged in water, left to break down over time. Police believed they now had a timeline and a strong suspicion, but they still lacked proof until Jason Hart made a crucial mistake. A slip-up and a search warrant. Jason Hart began showing signs of paranoia. He moved residences and told conflicting stories to different people. At one point, he even referred to Pat in the past tense before police had confirmed his death publicly. Detectives were watching closely. They obtained a warrant and searched Jason's new home. That's when they found it, a bloodstain on the floor. Hidden beneath layers of carpet, it had been missed by surface-level cleaning. Luminol testing revealed the stain glowed brightly. DNA tests matched it to Pat McCarthy. But there was more. In Jason's garage, they found the matching pair of the Nike sneaker that had washed ashore, still with Pat's blood on the insole. Jason had kept one shoe, possibly unaware that the other had floated to the beach and would become the key to solving the crime. The noose was tightening. The confession that sealed the case. Confronted with the evidence, Jason finally broke down. He confessed that he and Pat had gotten into an argument over money. The fight escalated, and in a fit of rage, Jason struck Pat. The blow was fatal. Panicked, he wrapped the body and dumped it into the Puget Sound, hoping the sea would carry the truth away forever. But he never expected the sneaker to float. Forensic experts explained that certain sneakers are buoyant. Air pockets in the sole cause them to rise to the surface, even with a foot still inside. This tiny design detail ended up unraveling Jason's entire plan. Thanks to forensic science and tireless investigation, Jason Hart was charged and convicted of second-degree murder. He was sentenced to over 20 years in prison. In the end, justice came from the unlikeliest of places: a single sneaker. The case of Patrick McCarthy is a stark reminder that no matter how meticulously a killer tries to erase their crime, the truth has a way of washing ashore. Whether it's DNA, blood spatter, or ocean currents, forensic science gives the dead a voice and the living answers. To Pat's family, the loss was devastating, but knowing the truth brought them some peace. Thank you for watching this episode of Crime Lab Chronicles. If you were as fascinated by the role of a single shoe in cracking this case as we were, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe for more gripping true crime stories and share this video to spread awareness of how science and justice walk hand in hand. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and never underestimate the story a single clue can tell.